Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Lulua Tech Designs, and I'm your boy Lulua Mark. Today we are going to learn how to set up a new project in Archicad, or how to set up a new Archicad project. So Archicad is an architectural software used to design buildings, and of course if you are an architectural designer, you must have heard about Archicad. Of course, there are also other softwares like Revit, SketchUp, and AutoCAD, and others. But today we want to focus on how to start up a new project in Archicad. What exactly do you need to do? So what you are seeing on your screen is the software, that is Archicad 28. I'm using Archicad 28. I think it is the latest that is available. But of course, there are other lower versions. They still do the same work, but of course, these ones always come with new updates. If you look at the interface on your left, we have the home, the recent. The home is basically just, as you know, always the home page, which we already seen here. This is the home page. When you have just opened the software, this is the home page you will see. Then when you come to recent will show you the projects that you have recently done, which is also still shown here in the recent projects, and it is still appearing in the home page. Then for the new is basically where you can create or start up a new project, which also has a button here. Then there's open. Open means you can browse a project. If you have already created a project on your machine, on your computer, you can be able to open it from here, or you can be able to browse it from this button. And of course, it also has its other option here. And then teamwork is basically where many people team up to work on the same project. For example, if you have a larger project, you can divide tasks and you use this teamwork to separate the tasks. So it's also a very good tool. Then the learning, latest news, I think these are just now optional for us. But of course, we want to learn how to create a new project. So we can just click on this new, then and wait for it to open. Of course, this is how it behaves. It first disappears as if it has gone off, but it will definitely come back. Now, when you have clicked on the new, you will see this interface. It will show you here, create a new project from. We have it automatically selects a template, which is the Archicad 28 template, and of course it will give you the template of the Archicad version you have, and the extension is supposed to be .tpl, which is also default. And still here you can also browse templates if you have other templates. And then here last profile used, which I think is also automatic, but of course for me, I've always been using this architectural profile, which is 28. Maybe for some people they might have used it for MEP or structural, but for me, I'm focusing on architectural. That's why it will automatically select the architecture that we are going with. So here we shall click this button, new, and then it will load. The reason why Archicad takes some little bit of time in loading new projects is because it has so many libraries that are inbuilt, unlike Revit where you download the libraries manually from websites. For Archicad, all the libraries are within the software. So this is the interface of Archicad 2028. I mean Archicad 28 anyways. It can even be 27 or below, but I don't see a lot of changes in terms of the updates. So this part here this interface is basically for showing what is new in Archicad. That's if you are using Archicad with internet, you'll be able to see the latest features here. So we shall just close this. Now we need to understand a few things here. When you come to your extreme left, you'll see untitled. That is basically the title of the project that you are creating, and it will show you the Archicad version you're using. Immediately after the title, you'll be able to see the menu bar, the file edit, and all these menus. And then we shall of course see other tools that you'll need to use when you're designing your building or a house. So the top part is basically the menu bar plus the tools. And then we have now the design tools or the design menus. They are on still our left here. We have the design, we have the viewpoint, we have the document. When you open the design collects all these uh, tools that we need for designing our house. We have the wall tool, the slab, the column, the beam, the door, window, object, lamp, roof, shell, stair, railing, curtain, wall, all these you can see others here. There's wall and morph tool, zone, mesh, opening, skylight. All these Archicad has everything inbuilt, so it's just a matter of you to use them for your project. Then if you close this, you'll see the viewpoint. In the viewpoint, basically we have the sections, the elevations, the interior elevations, detail, worksheet, and camera. And then the document, which is also another important, very important menu that has tools like dimension, which you need almost in every aspect of your design. Then the level dimension, the radial dimension. Okay, all these dimensions, these first three are all dimensions. We have the angle, label for labeling things. We have the text, grid element, line. All these you need them a lot in your design. Of course, you can you can close this or bring it smaller. It will show you these tools in this kind of line. If you expand it like this, it will bring them with the names. When you open here, you'll be able to see the names. However, if you reduce this, the names will disappear. And then you'll basically have the tools. But I think, yeah, like this, you only have the names. I mean the tools, or the icons of the tools without the names. And then on the interface, the main interface here, you see the ground floor, which is always selected by default. Then the 3D and the surface elevation, all these are selected by default, so you will just find them like this even before touching anything. And then on the right, we have of course these tools as well. We have the project map. The project map has these stories, has the stories, it has the elevations, basically the same things that we see on this side, you'll also see them here. For example, in documents, if you open documents, not really documents, if you open the viewpoint, you'll see elevations here, and there are also elevations here. And then you see worksheet, you'll also see worksheet. You'll see sections, So basically these same things that we have here. And then we have the 3D, the schedule, project index, and all these other. And then when you come to the view map, the view map still has really the same, the stories, the site. These ones help you to organize your project, so you can be able to create your documents in a proper way. You can organize them in a proper way. Then the layout book has this. And then we have the publisher set. It has the PDFs and all those stuffs. The project browser has this project browser teamwork. So yeah, these are the tools that you need in Archicad that will help you to design your building. Now, most times when you want to start a new project, what you do, you come to these stories, you drop it down from here, then you right click on any of the stories. You just right click, then you come to the last part here that says story setting. You click on it, you'll be able to have your story settings here. It will show you the number, the name, the elevation, and height to the next. How do you understand this? The name is basically the name of the story. For example, ground floor, the first floor, the roof. Those are the names. Then the elevations are, of course, the height of the walls. Then height to height is the distance from one ground or one elevation to the other, or from one floor to the other, or you can say floor to floor heights. For example, I can say, of course, the ground floor will always be at 0. That's where the earth is. Then let's say here we have our second floor, or the next floor is going to be at 3 meters. Let's say this is the first floor. First floor, you can just write like that. First floor, it is at 3 meters. Then the floor after that, let's say, is the second floor. Not there, it is here. So we can say second floor, just like that. Now it will keep adding to what you already have. So from 0 to 3 meters, then it will add another 3 meters to the next floor. The total, of course, will be 6 meters. That is 3 plus 3, that is 6. Then you'll see here the floor to floor height is constant, 3 meters, 3 meters, 3 meters. That means we are maintaining a consistent floor to floor height. And then you can add things here. For example, I can decide to click on this ground floor, and then I'll say insert below. With this button, it will insert a negative number. You see the numbers start from 0, 1, 2, going upwards. Then after 0, it will come to negative. That means anything below the ground level is negative. That is foundation. So anything below the ground is the foundation. So the foundation will always have a negative figure from 0. And here you can just write any number. Like, you don't have to always have the same level or height to the next. It cannot always be the same, because in some scenarios you can have higher figures for some specific levels. For example, I can decide to have the floor to floor height here can be, let's say, 3.5. Then from here to here can be more than that or lesser than that. But of course, now you'll be able to see in the height to the next. So this is how you can do it. If I want to delete something here, I click on it. I'll just come to delete story. The story will disappear. Then I can also insert above. I can insert below. So basically, this is how you can do things here. Let's say here, I'm just going to delete that. So this is how you can set your stories. When you are done here, you can simply just click OK. Let me just put this roof like that. So you can just click OK. Then here they will ask you, deleting stories and deleting stroke cutting from story content are not undoable. That means whatever thing you have done there, if you have deleted something, it will not be undone. So we shall just say delete anyways, because we don't want the story anyways. So it will now make your stories the way you have created them. You will see foundation, ground, and the roof. It always stands systematically like that, and like Revit. And then of course we have here some action center that comes. I don't think you need it anyways, but if you want to start your project from let's say the ground, you see right now here it is showing the roof level is active. That is because here roof level is the last story that we named. That's why it is open here. For you to start your design, you need to double click on this ground floor. It will open it up, and you'll be able to see it here. For example, if I just double click that, this one changes to the ground floor. Now I can start designing my house here. So that's basically how you can set up your story. That's how you can set up your story. And then if you come to, let's say, the wall tool, let's just go to the design for now, like that. Now you will want to start designing your room, let's say the floor plan. So when I double click on this wall tool, it will open up this wall default settings. Let me just close that. When I just click one, then I come to this part here which shows default setting. When I click on this, it will show for us all the different types of walls that we can use, but that's only if I click on this drop down. But if I click on this part here, it will open up the setting dialogues. So just like that, it will open up the same wall default settings. So it's either you double click on the wall tool, or you just click on the wall, then you come and click here. It will still open the same menu that you need for setting up the wall. So here you'll be able to see the geometry, positioning, and then the profile settings, the floor plans and section, model, structure analyticals, classifications, and properties. Of course, for us, what we may really consider so much is one, the geometry and position. This one shows you the home story and the top link. What do I mean by this? Home story is where the wall is starting, where the ground is. It might not really be the ground level, but the home story is where everything is starting. That is the starting point where you are creating something, and the top link is where your wall is ending, or where the height stops. The home story is where the height starts. The top link is where the height stops. So now you can see here, because it is already linked up, it has given us the ground floor as the home story, and then the roof level as the top link. And you see here our floor to floor height that we gave in the story settings is here 3 meters. Now if you want to change this, 3 meters, which is the floor to floor height that you set at the story settings, you can just drop down this link. You come to not linked. When you click on that not linked, this will become active. You can now change the wall height. From here you can change to anything you want. Of course, there are scenarios where you'll want to create a shorter wall or a longer wall than the story setting. That means you will need to just unlink this by clicking on this not link. But if you want to create a uniform wall height, you can say from home story to roof level it's the same, so you just leave it like that. Then on this other part here we have this structure, how the wall is going to be. And then of course there's also this option, but we normally use this first option. As a textural designers, we use that. It will give you this option here where you have all your materials of construction. Of course for now it is a generic, it gives you the generic structure. And then we have this is the thickness of the wall. For example, if your wall is going to be 200 millimeters thick, you just write it here like that. And then this one shows you the slant angle of the wall. If you want to create a slanting wall, you come and change the angle here. But for you to change the angle, you must have selected this middle part, this one here. It will give you this angle that you can change. But when you are creating a straight wall, you don't have the ability to change this angle. Now there's the reference line. Here you can also change the reference line to outside, center, or inside face. Now these three, what I know is, for example, when you are creating a wall, let's just use an example. For now, let me click on outside and I say okay. When I create one wall here, and then when I click on this, you see this blue line. This blue line is showing that the reference line is outside face. It is the outside face of the wall. So the inside face is here. When I click on this wall and I come to this reference line, I change it to the middle, you see the blue line will come to the middle. Then if I change it to the inside, the blue line will change to the other side. These are very important because, for example, if I use for example, let's say inside, that is outside, and I'm creating a wall. Let's say we're creating a room. Let's just try that by real sewing. Let me just click on the wall. I click here. Let me just create another wall here. Let me create another wall here. Let me create another wall here. So I'm going to select all of them, then I'll just intersect them like that. Now you will realize when you click on this, the face is inside. Then when you click on this, it is outside. When you click on this, it is outside. When you click on this, it is outside. When you have ever gone to the site and you see the face of walls, there's that rough face and also the soft, the smooth face, where most times the rough face is hidden inside and the smooth face is created from the outside of the house. But for our purpose, we need to know that this one helps us to measure the room perfectly. For example, it also helps to intersect these things well. So it's always advisable. Most times, for me, I use the center lines. When you use the center lines, it will interlink these walls perfectly from the centers of the wall. You see that they will link up perfectly, and when you see the measurements, it will be easier to measure from the center, because if one side is showing or facing outside, the other one is facing inside, you will not get a perfect measurement. So yeah, that, of course, you can also change a lot of things about the wall. For example, we were still there. Let me just go back to the setting. We, in the floor plan, these are basically just colors of how you want to see the wall lines. You can change a few things here if you wish to. What I think matters a lot is this: in the model we have this model, or the override surface. This one shows you the colors or the materials that you need for your house. Now when you click on one, just like this, it will take you to the material browser, where you can search for anything. Let's say I just want paint. It will show you all sorts of paints here. You can choose any paint you want, any paint really. For example, if I chose that, then if you want to choose different paints for different surfaces, you choose them here. But if you want to have the same paint for all the surfaces, you just, after selecting the first one, you click on this link surface, and then it will link up all these ones, and all these paints will turn to the first paint you selected. And of course, when I click OK here, you see all the, now this is specific for one wall, but you see all the surfaces have turned to the color I selected. But if I want, for example, I want the interior to have a different color and the exterior to have a different color, let me just click on the wall again, come to this. I can say this side, this one, let's say should be white. Then I'll unlink it like that. Then I click OK. You'll be able to see that one side is white and the other side is a little bit, I don't know if it is yellow or orange, whatever it is. Yeah, that is how you can change those colors for the different surfaces. So for the wall, I think that should be it for the wall. Then of course, these are the materials. They are all straightforward. The settings are always the same. For example, you click on slab, you click on this, it will take you to this part here where you do the default setting, or you can just double click on it. It will still bring you to the same thing, the geometry, the model, and all those stuffs. Then column, for Archicad, everything seems to be straightforward. When you want to use a column, you just go to the column tool and use it. When you want to create a beam, you come to the beam tool, you create it. When you want objects, you come to objects, you select the kind of object you want, you search for them here. It will give you the object you want and you'll be able to use it. You want a door, you go to the door. You want a door, you come to door, you'll be able to see doors here. Select one, you come and do the settings from here. Have the preview and settings, the hints, all these settings, you find them here. You click OK, come here, you place your door. Your door will be placed wherever you want it to be placed. Just like that, you will have placed a door on your house. Then you want the roof, you come to the roof tool, you'll be able to create your roof. You want window, you just double click on it. It will show you the different kind of windows. You pick one. Okay, where you are, you can just place your windows, and the windows will be placed wherever you want them to be. Then you come to your 3D, you should be able to see your windows there, just like that. So I think we are good to go with this. This was really just a project to take you through these settings in Archicad and how you can start up your way through Archicad. And of course, we shall be able to build onto this so that we can have a complete project where you'll be able to learn everything from the scratch up to the finish of the project. And of course, if you found this one very useful, please make sure you subscribe to Lulua Tech Designs, share this with your friends, and give us a like. And I also expect you to comment as well. You give me your feedback so that I can know where to improve or where to continue. So yeah, I think that should be it from me today. I want to see you again in the next project. Thank you so much.